My name is Dylan Borland, a former 1N1 geospatial intelligence specialist for the United States Air Force in an active duty enlisted capacity from 2010 to 2013. I'm a federal whistleblower, having testified to both the ICIG and ARROW with direct firsthand knowledge of and experience with crafting technologies that are not ours and are reportedly operating without congressional oversight. Because of my direct knowledge of the reality of certain legacy UAP programs, my professional career was deliberately obstructed. During the summer of 2012, my team was on standby for weather and I returned to my barracks on base, and at approximately 0130, I saw an approximately 100-foot equilateral triangle take off from near the NASA hangar on the base.
And they counted between 35 and 40 infant and juvenile Bigfoot prints.
They kept getting run off at night by these big balls of light, these globe balls of light that would basically chase them out if they were there too late. And then one night he was there late, everybody else had left, and he could hear something walking around the dig area, and he could hear something following him. There were enormous wolf tracks that had followed him down. And what's really strange to begin with is there were no wolves back in the 70s, 80s. I mean, even now they're really rare in southern Utah. This wolf had followed him down to his car. It turned and started out through the sagebrush into the desert, and they followed it. It transformed into a barefoot human track and continued on to the desert.
What I can tell you right now is you're telling me things that you can't find on YouTube or you can't find on any books. You have to be a researcher in the field to know certain things that are not out there, and you're hitting all the things that are not out there. I can tell you right now, you're not crazy. And she goes, yeah, you're legit a generational abductee.
In the middle of the woods at the moment.
Yes, sir. I'm familiar with the area. What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
There's something in the back of my truck!
My name is Jeffrey Nusatelli. I'm a former military police officer with 16 years of active duty service in the U.S. Air Force. I'm here today because the American people have both the right and the responsibility to know the truth about unidentified aerial phenomenon. Between 2003 and 2005, 5 UAP incidents occurred at Vandenberg Air Force Base. The incursions began on October 14, 2003, when Boeing contractors reported a massive glowing red square silently hovering over 2 missile defense sites. After several minutes, it drifted further east onto the base and vanished over the hills. When I arrived on scene, I talked to 5 shaken witnesses who described a massive triangular craft larger than a football field that hovered silently for about 45 seconds over their entry control point before shooting away at impossible speed.
Hey, welcome back. Hi, Sarah.
Hey.
How was your holiday?
So good. So good. Really kind of chill, but good. I like it that way. How was yours?
I went to Colorado, saw my fam. It was amazing. And I realized my heart truly, truly belongs there. So, yeah, I'm enjoying my my time here in Texas, but I had a few moments going back that was kind of tough. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
But
many years were you there?
31.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm back in my home state for a little while and help my parents out and get them kind of squared away and settled, if that's even possible. I don't think it's possible. I'm not worried about her listening to this because I've showed her my podcast like 20 times. She's not going to listen to that. I can say whatever I want, Mom.
Right.
Oh, you know, they're lovely 80-year-olds, but they are 80. And, you know, I think when you get to be 80, you're really stuck in your own way. You're just stuck. You're just,
Yeah.
you are what you are.
Yeah. I mean, I'm half that age and that I am what I am.
Totally. Yeah. Oh, well. But yeah, it was good to go back. And, you know, it was really cool. I was driving up through, I kind of went up like through southern Colorado. On the way up, I went to New Mexico, which was different, and decided I never want to live in New Mexico. There's some beautiful spots there, but not for me.
Yeah.
And I just kind of went up that way, looking just, I don't know, man, the whole time I was driving, I was sitting there thinking, I really want to see something run across the road. Just want to see it, you know?
Yeah.
I purposely picked my driving path so that I would kind of wind in and out of some foresty areas. So that was cool. Didn't see anything. I did see some buffalo, which was kind of cool. Saw a feral hog running through Texas.
Ooh.
There's so many feral hogs out here. It's kind of sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, no other wildlife really on my road trip journeys other than normal antelope and deer and elk and things like that.
Oh, the elk. I miss the elk.
I know. Yeah, I really miss them. I miss all the animals, all the critters that I'm used to seeing. But
Yeah.
for sure.
I'll tell you what, girl, you start working nights, you see a lot of fat possums running around and raccoons. And
Yeah. So how's the night the night job? You're seeing a lot of weird stuff on your
a lot of weird.
highways.
Yeah. A lot of crime, of course, as one does in the middle of the night. But yeah, just a lot of, and just that weird feeling that somebody's watching me a lot, especially out when I'm in the country, when I'm out in the country. There's just that feeling where, and I don't know, I always wondered, I've never felt lonely like in my whole life, I don't think. So I've always wondered if it's because there are so many other things around me that I can actually feel that maybe other people wouldn't be able to feel. You know, I got that like sixth sense going there, but yeah.
Did you have a weird ghosty crossing or something a year ago out in the country?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, it was right outside my parents' house in Goddard. And one of the like old trails runs through there. I want to say Chisholm Trail or something runs through there. That's actually something I would want to look into because this guy like totally looks like he would have been from that time. So, and I was like, why is this dude crossing the street? And then all of a sudden he walks through a fence, and I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was.
Yeah, Chisholm Trail. Interesting. I don't really know that much about the Chisholm Trail, but it sounds spooky.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes peeled. You never know what you're going to find, right?
Always. Yeah. Need to get a dash cam too.
Oh, yeah. You know, I thought about, I don't have the equipment for this right now, but I think it'd be really cool if you could do a dash cam, but point it behind you.
Yeah.
Night vision. They did that on one of the episodes that I watched on a documentary series, but using night vision.
Ooh. Like one in front and one in back?
One in back, specifically pointed. Interesting. You know, and the Scott Carpenter method is to point put a GoPro on your backpack or on your back or whatever and look behind you. So,
yep. That's exactly what I was just looking for. I was like, this is so familiar to me. Who is that? Yeah. And he got some interesting stuff too.
Oh, yeah. Really cool.
A little on the spooky side.
That's one of the books that I want to get. Yeah. So my deep dive, I think we were talking about it a little bit, but my deep dive was to look into starting to read some of the classic books. And I just ordered, and I decided to start utilizing my Kindle more because I think I don't have enough room or bookcase. I have a hoarding addiction to books. So I decided, look, I need to read these, and I need to read some of these fast. So I think I'm going to start downloading them onto my Kindle. And then I can also like highlight things if I want to come back to them. So I'd got Mike May's Valley of the Apes in Area X book to start with. And then so I'm going to read that over the next week or two, hopefully, if I can knock that out. How about you? Any books or articles that you found?
No, I'm not much of a reader these days, but really for me, like I've just been trying to listen to podcasts, and it gets a little more difficult because you got navigation kicking in between your podcasts, and then you lose track of what you're listening to. But I do have on my Amazon wish list, I have a couple of books. One of them was a Scott Carpenter book.
Yeah.
So I definitely want that one.
Maybe we could have a follow-up. Well, yeah, because you can always do Audible books.
Yes, you do
so many Audibles. Yeah.
And I know like with the Wichita Library, I can definitely get a library card and you can download some books, like rent them. And that might be something you can look into there too. And I know that at our library up here, they've got some really like old documentaries and stuff. So I would check that out. I think that would be pretty cool.
Oh, for sure.
It's kind of a Squatchy hotspot.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Libby is the app that you can use for free audiobooks. Sometimes you have to wait for some stuff, but or it's really irritating as you're like, well, I'm going to put this on my list, and then it'll come up in a few weeks, and all of a sudden it's like there, and you're like, I'm not ready to read this right now. I have like 4 other books I'm listening to. So that's the only annoying part about Libby is like, if you don't jump on it within like, I think they give you like 24 hours, and you're like, damn it, I got to read. But you can make that little thing deliver it later. So yeah, I love Libby. It's a great resource. And it's free too.
And it's free.
Play the waiting game on some of that stuff, but and then a lot of books you can't get as Audible version. So that's kind of annoying, but more and more of them are showing up on Kindle, and I just have to discipline myself to sit down and read.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, I think.
Yeah.
Have that time kind of cut out in your day for that.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place. So.
I'm trying to create a habit of doing it in the morning over my coffee. I'll spend at least 30 minutes reading while I'm sitting there drinking my coffee. And it seems like I've almost knocked out one book so far in the past week. So
nice.
Seems to be working.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my goals for the year was to be reading more. So hopefully this will help with that. Get me into that. Give me some motivation.
Well, and plus it's always fun to read things that you're interested in more than like, I have to read this book on how to disassemble my brake pads. I mean, that's not exactly fun. Like, man, I got to read this thing on, I need to fix this thing on my thing. I guess I'll read this thing. And then you're like falling asleep and nose diving into your book. Like, wow. But yeah, totally. Well, so we started this thing last time about what freaked you out and what made your heart skip a beat over the past couple weeks.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this morning I have something that made my heart skip a beat. So I cracked an egg into my breakfast skillet, and it was twins. I mean,
that's
and honestly,
awesome.
I think I can count like maybe on one hand the times I've seen little baby egg or little egg twins. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Absolutely.
And I grabbed the egg, and I love brown eggs, and I grabbed it. And I'm like, damn, this egg's like really big. Like, where did I get these eggs at? And then it's like, oh my gosh, it's twins.
That's the best.
I thought that was cool.
For sure.
And then my grossness, the thing that freaked me out the most, I'm not going to name the restaurant, but I'm working at this restaurant, and it's near a lake. And if you can imagine, like, the sewage system, maybe it has to do with like being near a body of water. I'm assuming that probably has a lot to do with that. So I think any restaurant near a lake is probably going to have like issues with sewage, probably. Okay, I don't know if you know this is going gross. All right, so I'm working at this place, and since I've been working there, I've noticed that there is a unique odor from the bathroom. And it's like, oh, this is really nasty. And I'm telling my managers and other staff, I'm like, this is gross, like, what can we do about this? Because this is really like you're trying to eat and you're going to go into the bathroom. Like I literally hold my pee until the end of the night so I don't have to go in there because it's disgusting. Right. And by the time I get home, I'm doing the pee dance, like, oh my gosh, I got to run into my apartment, So what does my one manager do? He buys a giant box of Nag Champa incense. And so every morning it's his one person's job to light the incense and stick it in the bathroom. I'm like, dude, that's great. I love Nag Champa. Like one of my favorite incenses. I love incense. Anybody that knows me knows that I love incense. But I mean, there's an underlying problem here. And it ain't going to be covered up with incense. So I went and I dumped like this thing of bleach water. I was like, actually, first I suggested like, hey, can we just dump some bleach water down the drain? And the manager was like, well, I think it's going to be fine with the incense. And I just looked at him and I said, well, you're entitled to your opinion. And then I walked away and I went and made some bleach water. And he didn't have anything to say. But I gave half of it to one of the male staff. And I said, can you just go dump this down the drain? And it's like, it's like, what the hell, Anyway, that's my grossness for the week.
That's gross.
Yeah, totally gross. Yeah. So, bleh. Anyway.
That seems like a weird fix, though, for just to light some incense. I mean,
let's buy 500 incense sticks, and then instead of like, maybe you should call a plumber. I don't know.
Maybe
it's gonna be fine. Yeah.
I mean, that's wild. Yeah, I don't get that.
Restaurant life, man.
Well, and what seems so weird to me is the incense in a restaurant. I mean, if it were like a coffee shop, maybe I would get the incense thing, but not in a restaurant. Like people are.
It just smells like Nag Champa poop.
Nag Champa poop.
And French fries.
Wow, quite the combination.
And
special today.
Chicken wings, Nag Champa, and poop.
Oh man.
And my family wonders, why don't you like working in restaurants? Like, where do I start? Do you want me to where would you like me to start?
There's so many reasons.
Why would I want to?
Why would you want to? Oh man.
Yeah. Anything weird happen to you or great?
So we had a couple weeks ago, I think, a night that it was really, really, really foggy. And it was so foggy, like you couldn't see 10 feet in front of you, but I had to go pick up some medication from the pharmacy out in Goddard. So it's like a 15-20 minute drive. And it was so foggy that night that I actually almost ended up lost, because no matter if you know exactly where you're going, it's still so spooky to not be able to see anything. So you're like, you don't know if you're coming up to stoplights. It was so foggy, you couldn't even see through the fog to the stoplights. And it just kind of like, it is such a, just such a spooky feeling. It's disheartening kind of just to be that thrown off by moisture in the air. I just thought it was just so strange. And on my way back home, I had a weird flashback memory of when I was a kid. And I heard a story about a couple that had driven into some really dense fog. And when they drove out a couple hours later, they were like 500-600 miles away from where they had originally started. And I looked for this story, and I can't find it anywhere. But it was a story that I was completely obsessed with. And I was like, what if I drive for an hour? Like, where am I going to end up? Like, am I going to teleport, or like what happens sometimes in fog? So that was a little weird and a little spooky.
That almost sounds like some kind of a time slip thing. Like, how do you drive hours and then? Yeah, I'll think of that's weird. Like, at what point do you just be like, I think I'm gonna pull over for a minute?
Right. Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah, I couldn't find that story, and I wonder, I need to go to my mom's house and look through books, because they used to have a bunch of those books of like spooky things that have happened, and I bet it's in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, I love old stories like that, and I think like anything published before the internet has got to be a gold mine, because somebody interviewed somebody and published it somewhere, whether it's newspaper articles or, that's why I was at Phenomicon last fall, and I got David Paulides' book about Bigfoot, wild men, and giants, all the newspaper articles about why, because, they used to call them wild man or wild men. And so the term Bigfoot wasn't used until much, much later on, after I can't even remember the date, but I'm not going to say it because I don't look like an idiot, but 1950s, 1960s, somewhere around there. But anyway, it's a pretty cool book. It spans Europe, like all over the world. And so it's a compiled republication of all of those articles. So it was really interesting. I'm still kind of flipping through it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Felt good.
Yeah, history. Oh, love it.
Yeah, there's so much of it too.
Anything make your heart skip a beat?
Not necessarily made my heart skip a beat, but something that's kind of been freaking me out lately is how skewed my perception of time is because my schedule is so off. So like some days I'll work all day and some days I'll work all night, and I don't have any real set schedule. So like if I couldn't look right now, I wouldn't be able to tell you if it's 10 o'clock in the morning or if it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just like, my whole body is thrown off and my brain is thrown off. And it makes me really kind of reflect on like why things have been done a certain way for all these years. Like people get up and they work during the day and then they go to bed at night, because working nights is just completely, my whole body has changed. Like, it's just very bizarre. I don't have any idea what's going on half the time. So
your sleep chronotype. Altering with your sleep chronotype. There's a really good book on that. I think it is. God, now I can't remember the name of it, but I'll have to look that up. But I started reading it. It's pretty fascinating. Because they basically took test subjects and they put them into a cave. Basically like a room with no windows or anything like that. And I think they specifically picked people who had a set chronotype, and then they took away their daylight and their nighttime and whatever. And they found that their bodies naturally synchronized to what sleep chronotypes they were. Just, it's ingrained in your being.
Yeah.
You're born either what do they call it? Like the lark, meaning the person that functions best in the morning, the person that's kind of in the middle, and the person that's like the night owl or whatever. Yeah. But I think one of the things they said, it was really interesting. One of the things they said was, one of the key indicators was, when do you feel the best when you go to the gym or work out? Like, what time could you pick? And the larks would be like 5 a.m. I'm out there, and someone like myself, I'm like more of that mid range, where like my brain does not become clearer until like 10 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I prefer to work out at 11. And that's like 7 a.m. for some people, but I mean, I love my morning times. I love it. Like, oh, look, my day is great. Look at all the stuff I've done before 9 a.m. But then like 2 o'clock, I'm like, I need a nap.
Yeah. See, and I'm more of a night person. I've always been a night person, but not this like working until 5 a.m. kind of a night.
Oh,
person.
that's
too much. It's too late. And then to have to like, some mornings I'm waking up and getting up at like 8 or 9 and not getting enough sleep. So I don't know. It's weird to me how much it really screws with your body not being on that sleep schedule. Because I've been on that like wake up at 7 a.m. for so long, and now I'm going to bed at 7 a.m. some days instead of getting up. And yeah, I got to find a schedule. It's really messing with me bad.
I think it's being consistent with it is the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, when I was young, I could do that. I can't do that now that I'm older.
Oh, I know, right? I think it's worse when you get older and you're like, oh, I can't believe I used to do all that stuff late at night. Like now I just want to like watch my TV at night.
Yeah.
Speaking of TV, this was fun. We were talking about this, but I decided to watch The Legend of Boggy Creek again. So I paid the $2.59 or whatever it was on Amazon and watched it. I'd watched it before years and years ago. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to start watching some of these classics again. And so cool. Just really cool. Definitely worth the
It's a good worth watching.
Oh, definitely. And
Nice.
you and I were at the Nebraska Bigfoot conference, and I saw, Keith Crabtree, and that was really fun just to see some of those old timers, on in that documentary. And then I listened to a couple of episodes about the production of it, and it was really interesting. Definitely a historical, important thing in Bigfoot research to watch some of those old movies.
Good to know. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. And then, of course, I thought about my own youth going out to Caddo Lake, which was also the area of, what was it, Black Lake? The name of the now I'm drawing a blank on the name of the documentary. It came after The Legend of Boggy Creek. Now I gotta look it up. Black. Now I gotta look it up. Monster. You plug anything into Google under monster and you'll find it. Creature from Black Lake. That's it. In 1976. So that was the one that came out. But the lake. Let me tell you something. Man, when I was a kid, we used to go out to this cabin on Caddo Lake. It was my stepfather's basic work associate hookup. I guess they had like an old hunting cabin out there, and we went out there a couple times and stayed there over Thanksgiving. Super fun. I've got this picture of me in a metal bottom boat with my 3 brothers with shotguns. And we're paddling in a swamp, and I'm like, damn, you can't tell me that I haven't had encounters and I just didn't know about it.
You didn't know about it. Yeah.
I put myself in some crazy ass shit environments when I was a kid. But that was one of them. And so we used to go out to Caddo Lake, and I always had this feeling of this place is spooky, super squatchy. But yeah, that's kind of on my bucket list, is to go back out there. And it's pretty close now that I'm down here in Texas. But yeah.
Caddo Lake, is it CADDO? Caddo Lake.
Yep, Caddo Lake. And I think I remember going down through this town called Karnak. And now I got to look at it on my map. Yeah, hang on one second. Google that.
Caddo Lake movie came out last year. Thriller mystery. I had seen some stuff, I think, somewhere on social media about how spooky it is.
Oh, it's hauntingly beautiful, though. I mean,
yeah,
incredible. I just remember being overwhelmed with sensation when I was there, I think. And granted, I was probably about maybe 13 years old, 14 years old, I think is when I was out there. But yeah, spooky as, oh my God, that place is so spooky. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. So that's kind of on one of my lists. Yeah, and I can't even remember. Of course, it was so long ago. I have no idea where that cabin was. And and honestly, there's so many cabins out there. Like some of these East Texas areas with these lakes, like another one I went out to recently. I went out to Lake Livingston. And that was super squatchy. I'd love to hear some stories about that. But yeah, there's anything in the Sam Houston, just tons of, there's a lot of lakes. There's a lot of forest, a lot of these old cabins, Davy Crockett National Forest, Sam Houston National Forest, Angelina National Forest, kind of in that little triad area. Really great area that I'd like to explore.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, so that was kind of a double pretty cool thing that I did over the holidays. Got to do that. And then you were talking about, we could just kick this off. You wanted to talk about this documentary series that you started watching.
Yeah.
So
Beyond the Trail. And I basically had just looked it up on Reddit. Like, I need some good documentaries to watch, or documentaries or series or whatever. And this one had just popped up as one that's not terribly dramatized. It's not, goofy and dramatic. But basically these two guys just go out on their adventures, and it's just footage from their adventures. It's put together really well. They're both pretty funny. Like, I would imagine if we were to go out and do expeditions, they're goofy and they have fun with it, and they don't expect a lot out of it. They just kind of, whatever happens. They do such a good job of just putting it together so that it's just extremely watchable. They don't end up with a whole lot of evidence, but I just thought it was so good to see just what it's like, what it looks like when you go out on these expeditions, and how they eat, what do they do, what do they look for, what do they listen for. I just think it's good to cover kind of those bases. And the first episode of it was from Maine, and I actually had never thought about Maine really being that much of a hotspot before. So I don't know, that kind of opened up that avenue for me, and I was like, okay, well, so they kind of had talked about, just the people up in Maine. They went up with some people up there, did an expedition up there. And then they had looked up just an encounter. So I do have that encounter. But it was just really neat to have that, that door opened. I think that just being so new into this as I am, it's just, I don't realize how many stories there are, how many encounters there are. It's really pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's so cool. So what happened you just started this series. I'm definitely going to check it out. It's called Bigfoot Beyond the Trail. It's on Tubi and Apple TV, but Tubi's free. And you said there was 38 plus episodes already. So they're already on season 2. So it sounds like they're just going around to different locations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And they do, they'll do expeditions at the locations, and they just have so much fun with it. I really like how much fun they have with it.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. You can't, yes, take this seriously, but also have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I definitely want to check that out for sure. And it's on Tubi. Tubi's free. Lots of episodes to get started on it. So specifically with the Maine episode, and I will say, side note, I've been to Maine. It's so squatchy.
Yeah.
I went, it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, beautiful. I remember walking down, I went through Acadia National Park. Absolutely incredible. Stayed there near Baja Harbor. I can't say that very well. But very squatchy, very wild, very, windblown from right off the ocean, very mystical, wild, old. It feels very old and ancient there.
Yeah.
Old growth, I think. I don't know anything about forest fires up there, but it feels very old.
Yeah. It's definitely a different kind of a place. I did a lot of hiring up there at my last job, and the people up there are just a little bit different too. They're kind of people that you would feel like would be very open to hey, let's go on a Squatch hunt.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I went into this little shop there. I was staying, gosh, now I can't remember the name of the town. But Old Town canoes are made there, which is kind of cool. I went to the Old Town Canoe factory or whatever, which they had a little display on which I thought was pretty cool. Lots of history there. A lot of history. But anyway, I went into this little market there, and they had raw milk and cheese. They had organic produce. So I think it's definitely more of a, it's definitely more co-op farm, a lot of co-op farms around there. They're really into natural healing and natural foods and stuff. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool. So definitely the mindset, I think, is probably there for sure.
Yeah, it's crunchy. It's like the Colorado of the East Coast.
Yeah. So what happened in the Maine episode? How'd that go down?
So they just went up and they met a couple people that had some experiences up there, and they went up there and did their own research. They didn't really end up with anything, but and at the end, that's when he says, I know we didn't really come back with anything, but you can't go out with a mindset of having like an expectation to have this incredible encounter. He's like, you just kind of have to go up there and just, be where you're at and experience what you experience and not expect to come back with like crazy video footage or anything like that. Cause he's like, otherwise you end up disappointing yourself. So, but just the footage, like, I mean, they put drones up and it's just so beautiful up there and beautiful and wooded. And I mean, it really kind of reminded me a lot of Colorado. Just that area where they were at was just beautiful.
Yeah.
But
sounds good.
They were up in the Uintas Mountains.
Huh.
So
I can't remember.
Yeah, I never heard of it. Yeah. And I was up in Maine when I was, oh gosh, I had to have been like 6 or 7. So, but it's always been somewhere I've always kind of felt drawn to. I don't know why. But definitely reminded me a lot of Colorado. They did read a encounter of someone that was up there. So, I thought I'd go through that and read that to you. And this encounter was from Backwoods Bob, and he posted it in 2015, and it occurred in the late 70s. So, all right. So, at the risk of being denounced by some, I'd like to offer this subject for discussion. Have you, in your hiking, camping experience, ever come across an event, in quotes, that can't be explained? There are a lot of people on this site that have covered the Uintas, Uintas, on foot and otherwise for years. Have you heard tales, or better still, seen something? I have. I wonder if there are anywhere like me here on this site. This is my story. In the late 1970s, while working for the BSA at Camp Steiner, the Mirror Lake area, I encountered what I believe was a Bigfoot. On Monday and Friday nights at the scout camp, there was always a campfire held on the far side of the lake. 2 large fires would be built in a program offered for entertainment, recognition, and education. The camp sits in a beautiful bowl, and there's a natural echo there. We, the camp staff, use this echo to great advantage at the Friday night close-up of the campfire program. We played taps on multiple trumpets stationed around the lake. I played a trumpet back then and frequently got the mission of hiking to a point distant from the campfire bowl and awaiting a flashlight signal to start the taps echo. I'd see the signal, play the first few bars of the tune, and across the lake another horn would join in. The echoes would come back to us, producing what sounded like taps in 4-part harmony. It was one of these occasions that I would experience an event that dramatically changed my perception of, or at least the way I view, the unexplained. Unknown to me at the time, others in the area were citing this creature and reporting what they saw. One report from a Greyhound bus carrying 42 passengers had made the local newspaper at home, and the clipping described their event was already in the mail to me. I would read it a few days later at mail call. As the campfire program was coming to a close for the night, I gathered up my trumpet and alerted my friends on the staff that I was aware of the time and on my way to a small rock ledge that jutted out on the lake about 200 yards from the campfire bowl. There were at the time approximately 350 scouts and adult leaders assembled there. Of some note, it ought to be mentioned that the program is not a quiet one. There is singing, laughter, and all manner of noise at the scout campfire. It was a typical winter night, crisp and clear, with acceptable starlight to navigate with. We preferred to set off this echo without giving our movement away to the scouts, and another trumpet player had already departed the fire about 20 minutes before me, heading the opposite direction along the shore. Arriving early at the rock ledge at the water's edge, I could see the light of the 2 dying fires back at the bowl. Surrounded by water in front of me and tall pines and a steep glacial slope behind me, the width of the footpath separating the 2 elements, I began to silently blow warm air in my horn to warm it up. I watched and waited for the signal, timed to the camp director's closing challenge as he assembled the scouts to, quote, always do a good turn daily, unquote. Flash, flash, and the trumpets would sound. Have you ever been stared at from behind? That uncomfortable somebody's watching me feeling? The intangible sensation of another's eyes upon your back that becomes so powerful that you turn to meet the person's gaze instantly? That is what happened to me standing on that little rock ledge in the dark. I became uncomfortable as I waited. Something was out there. There had been reports of a cougar near camp, but I dismissed that out of hand, giving all the noise. The possibility of another scout lurking on the hillside above me came to mind, a would-be witness to the camp staff's subterfuge. But no, it didn't feel like that. Something was looking at me, through me, into me. The hair on my neck began to raise, and I turned toward the trees a scant 8 feet behind me and saw it. Standing between two widely spaced trees on the opposite side of the path, hands grasping the slender pines, stood a creature my mind could not wrap around. I felt a mixture of sheer terror and wonder. So sudden into my life was this omnipresent, undeniable creature standing before me. I was paralyzed. I couldn't move. The creature I saw towered over me. I'm 6'1", and I'd say he was 8 foot tall. He was dark in color, heavy in body, and bulk hairy, so much so that I could perceive the hair hanging down from his arms as he grasped the trees. And he was swaying back and forth from left to right between the tree trunks in his hands. I instinctively knew Can't you just see that in your mind? I instinctively knew that this thing could toss me around and break me in half with little effort, but it made no aggressive move toward me. I looked straight into this thing's eyes and he back into mine. There was a soul there, in my opinion. Then, from the corner of my view, I saw the flashlight signal from the campfire. Distracted from this unfathomable thing before me by an outside light, I really can't explain what went on in my mind at that moment. I lifted my horn to my lips and decimated the silence with the first loud, clear, resonant note that began the tune called Taps, and the creature disappeared, vanishing behind the darkness and the trees on the hillside above me. There are those who question why I didn't get a plaster cast of a footprint. We searched and found none. For the same reason, 300 scouts a week are hard-pressed to make a single cast out of a deer print there. The areas of glacial carve-out and castable deep prints in the immediate area are not as available as one might suspect. I know what I saw. I know that there are those who won't believe me. The duration of my contact with the creature lasted about as long as it did for you to read this description. The story I've told is true and is my first-person account of what I believe to be a genuine Bigfoot sighting in the Uintas. Has anybody else out there seen him, heard him, felt him, or any other explained event? And that's it.
I love that. Oh,
isn't that great?
Good. Yeah. Scout camps. Oh man. Yeah, there's got to be so many encounters because that this is my thought, my philosophy is you can go out and look, or you can be so interesting that they come to you.
Mm-hmm.
If they are curious.
Yeah.
I mean, we're big apes. We're curious.
We're curious.
We're very curious. And be so interesting around the campfire. What a great opportunity to just to close in on something really interesting, making noise, especially like the trumpet sound. Like, wow.
Yeah.
That was so cool. I could picture that. He was a really good writer.
Really good writer.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. And then a couple of things that he mentioned were swaying back and forth. I think you hear that over and over again.
Yeah.
Whereas like pressing, swaying, weight distribution between left and right, back and forth. You hear that a lot. And then also he mentioned like the long wispy hair.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that over and over again in encounters. Where it's not like tight, close fur, but wispy fur. I just keep hearing that over and over. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I've heard about this swaying multiple times. Definitely when we were in Nebraska, when people were telling their encounters, that was something that was brought up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I think you can learn a lot from listening and reading these encounters. So yeah, that was really interesting. And what was that guy's name? Bigfoot Bob, or what was his name?
Bigfoot Bob. Yeah.
Bigfoot Bob. Is he on YouTube or was he just
So yeah, this was just on backcountrypost.com.
Backcountry Post.
Yeah, and I'll send you this link too.
Okay. Yeah, send me the link. We'll post it in the show notes. Okay. All right. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have an article that it's a little bit it goes down a different rabbit hole. It's about monsters. But before, about sea monsters, which I thought was really cool. Also, did you notice I switched my my background? It was backwards because I had
Oh yeah.
so it was I looked up and I'm like, oh wait, oh, that's so funny. If you mirror your, I'll use Zoom users. If you mirror your appearance, then if you have a background that has words on it, it's backwards.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny. Okay. So before I go into my fun little story that I found on, I think it was IFL Science.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, they have a lot of really good articles. But before we do that, I thought it would be fun to play some audio vocalizations that are classics in case anyone has never heard them before. So I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to listen to a few classics off of YouTube. Okay, this is from the NAWAC, North American Wood Ape Conservancy, which I will say, I wanted to play this one first. It's not long, but definitely subscribe to their channel. Check out their website. It's a huge, huge resource. I would say their website is one of the best out there. They've got articles, best research practices, lots of it's just a wealth of information.
Yeah.
So this one is from Area X in Oklahoma in the Ouachitas. The Ouachitas? Yeah, Ouachita Mountain. All right, I'm going to play this one. I'm going to play it again because it's so short. All right. You can find that on YouTube on NAWAC. I'll post the link. Next one.
Everyone, that's the root.
Again. He's saying listen for the root.
Everyone, that's the root.
You can kind of hear it at the end a little bit clearer. In the beginning, it almost sounds like dogs barking. But at the end, you do hear that root. So that one's, I'm not so sure on. Not sure. It's interesting. Let's just say that it's interesting. Next two are classic Sasquatch Sierra sounds by Ron Moorhead and Al Berry. There's a lot of these available, but I'm going to read the intro to this a little bit, and then I'm going to play a couple, just two of them. In the early 1970s, Al Berry and his longtime friend Ron Moorhead went into the woods of the Sierra Nevadas in eastern California, collected a series of Bigfoot vocalizations called the Sierra Sounds. Let's play this first one.
Which one's like this? like a rafting. That's our job. Now we know where we look for tracks and all that for sure.
So that one goes on and on. There are a couple of volumes of these available. I'm going to scroll through to the end.
That one, that very first whoop, man, that one always makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up every single time.
I mean, and I will say that linguists have listened to these in depth, and they have clearly opinionally stated that it's a language.
Yeah.
That the whole linguistic study on this is fascinating.
I bet it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish they could, but the problem is we don't have like a primer on it. So
I don't have a translator.
I wonder what they're saying. Are they saying this pizza really sucks? Are they saying I'm going to go eat those humans? Like, we don't know, right? Okay.
Big rocks. It's a hard act to follow. It sounds like he talks to us and they talk to each other. Yeah.
So that is the Sierra Sounds. This particular channel is Mel Blanc 222. I'm pretty sure he has quite a few. I think he has all of the whole collection up. I'm not sure. So,
and plot twist, you just have two guys out there looking for squatches that are yelling at each other.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. We were in there. I mean, this was in the 70s, but it has been studied quite a bit. Yeah. So it's fascinating for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the linguistics of that?
I don't know. I think that's an interesting concept, and I mean, I don't know. I think it sounds a little silly, but this is also from like way back in the day. So I just have a hard time sometimes believing stuff. I'm very skeptical about it. The whoops, yes, I get those. Like that always gets me. But the like caveman sounding talking. But I also think that like there's a theory that maybe they're just an older primitive version of like humans crossed with something else. And I think that could be entirely possible. They would have had to have had some way to communicate. I mean, I don't see why that's an impossible theory. But yeah, I think it's very cool. I kind of want to look more into the linguistic aspect of that.
Yeah, I will try to see if I can find gosh, I don't know where to I'll look on the internet obviously about the linguistic study, but yeah, I think it's good to be skeptical for sure. What does it mean? I don't know. I'm not a linguist, and I wasn't there, and who knows? Yeah.
Just a couple guys in the woods yelling at each other, thinking they're hearing something.
Yeah, right. So I thought that would be fun.
Yeah.
And now on to sea monsters. I mean, let's talk about fun here. All right, so this article is from Science Alert. It is by Michael Irving. In the category of nature, this is prehistoric sea monster didn't stick to the oceans, suggests a fossil study. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but mosasaurs, I'm not sure. They were the apex predators of the oceans during the reign of the dinosaurs. But new research reveals dinosaurs weren't safe from them in rivers either. Researchers from Sweden, the US, and the Netherlands analyzed isotopes in several mosasaur teeth from sites across North Dakota, confirming that these ancient sea monsters could also live in freshwater environments. Judging by the features of a tooth found in an inland floodplain, it belonged to a group of mosasaurs that may have grown to a length of around 11 meters, that's 36 feet. That adds a terrifying new element of danger to gathering at watering holes. Thirsty dinosaurs had to be on alert not only for terrestrial threats, but also for bus-sized predators lurching out of the water itself. Can you imagine that? The size means that the animal would rival the largest killer whale, making it an extraordinary predator to encounter in riverine environments not previously associated with such giant marine reptiles. And this was accounted by a vertebrate paleontologist at Uppsala University in Sweden. And then it has a picture of these teeth, which are ferociously giant looking. I definitely would not want to go down for a drink of water and have a giant bus-sized thing just pop up and eat me, but apparently that happened. So these guys, these mosasaurs, were carnivorous aquatic reptiles that lived during the late Cretaceous period. While some species were small, most of them were giants, allowing them to dominate the ancient oceans for millions of years. That's why it was strange then when in 2022, paleontologists discovered a mosasaur tooth in an inland floodplain alongside a Tyrannosaurus T-Rex tooth and a crocodilian jawbone. Did its owner live there in the freshwater riverine environment, or had it perhaps washed in from the ocean? To find out, the researchers conducted an isotope analysis of the enamel and compared it with similar signatures and other fossil specimens, including shark teeth and ammonites. Then this study goes on to talk about isotopes, what it ate, where it lived. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. It says that oxygen, for instance, is particularly useful for differentiating between saltwater and freshwater environments. The lighter isotope is more likely to evaporate from the ocean and fall as rain, meaning freshwater environments have more oxygen and much less of the heavier oxygen isotope compared to seawater. And sure enough, the signature of oxygen and strontium isotopes in the mosasaur tooth indicated that the animal was perfectly at home in the freshwater environment. So they also found some slightly older teeth in North Dakota with similar freshwater signatures. They lived in, basically the analysis shows that the mosasaurs lived in river environments in the final million years before going extinct. And then it said, chilling new detail, this river monster wasn't averse to eating dinosaurs. Carbon isotopes in teeth generally reflect what the animal ate. So a little bit more on the research that they found here. But I wanted to, this is interesting. So the researchers suggest that moving from saltwater to freshwater environments may have been a late adaptation for mosasaurs during the last million years or so before the extinction event that wiped them out alongside the dinosaurs. This research was published in the journal BMC Zoology. Why did it catch my eye? Monsters. I mean.
Yeah. That's interesting, though. I mean, and I was thinking, like, how would they have gotten into freshwater? But that takes me back to, like, I don't know what the salinity of the ocean, river, sea, any of this stuff was, a long time ago. So,
yeah. And it's just, I love reading about these kind of, the biggest lesson I think from that is that just as soon as you think you know everything, you find something else. And just as soon as you think you have something, set in stone in science, but that's what science is about, is being open and continuing to explore and to keep looking for the answer, because you just never know what you're going to find. And that's the human experience. And so that's why I thought this was kind of a fun article to touch on. It's like, it's not just about looking for a large ape in the wilderness or any other cryptid a cryptid is just something that we don't have a specimen for, right?
No.
So I just thought it's kind of a fun article to read. It definitely had some clickbait. Clearly, I jumped on the clickbait with the monster. Where is my mind? Monsters, for sure.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
So that's my contribution.
And why couldn't something like that still exist? I mean, we love Nessie, but why couldn't they still, something like that still exist, or some variation of that, or, there's so many questions, so many places to live down there. That's a deep lake. Ugh.
Well, what's also interesting is that we have barely minusculely explored the deep ocean depths. There are probably creatures living in ocean environments that we will never see, that may be relics from millions and millions and millions of years ago. And they're just living out their little lives in perfect ecosystems that are perfect for them. And we will never find them because we don't have the technology right now to go explore down there, wherever there is. But yeah, like humans can only explore so far down there. But I think that touches on the relevance of this article to our topic, is that to remain open, to not speak in absolutes, and to keep learning, and to just be open to everything, because you just never know. Somebody eventually is going to document this 100%. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't lie to you. Before I moved to Colorado and saw actual fossils of dinosaurs and footprints of dinosaurs, I thought that there was a possibility that dinosaurs might be complete bullshit. Like when I was a kid, I was like, I don't buy this. Like, I'm gonna have to see some proof here, man.
Yeah.
And like, you don't know what killed them? Well, then you don't know that they existed. Like, this just all sounds made up to me.
I know you spent a lot of time on the river. Do you remember the dinosaur tracks that were near, was it Radium or?
I think it is Radium.
Is it Radium Hot Springs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And clearly they had shifted. They were up on the side of the riverbank.
Mm-hmm. But
it's really cool to see to see those prints. And there's also some in I think it's in southwest Colorado. We were on a river trip down there one time on the raft, pulled over, and someone that was passing us on a raft, and they were like, "Hey, go check out the dinosaur prints, blah, 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 blah." And sure enough, found them, and it was like, "Oh, this is so cool,"
So cool.
I think, the Dolores River.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't remember where it is now, but yeah, somewhere on the Dolores. But yeah, the Colorado River has those near Radium Hot Springs, but I'm sure there's more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, well, you say they shifted up, but what about wall scaling dinosaurs, right? Or just like running along the side of a wall, gravity defying dinosaurs.
Okay, what's the geology of that? The shifting, is it the uplift of the tectonic plates?
Yeah, it's because there are two plates that crashed and pushed everything up. Still going up. I think it's like 4 centimeters a year.
Wow.
That the mountains go up. Pretty crazy, huh? And what sometimes I wonder what's underneath the mountains that we don't know about. We don't have the capability of being able to penetrate that kind of thing. So what's under there? And everything's shifted and moved so much, there's so much that we're never going to be able to unearth because it's already like been covered up or become volcanic or something like that. So
yeah,
there's just so much that we don't know. And I think it's like you're saying, it's so smart to not limit yourself, not limit yourself to thinking there's only one possibility.
There's so many possibilities.
There's so many.
So many. All right. Well, should land this plane, land this canoe, land the raft. What kind of vessel do we have this week?
Oh man.
Those
I kind of feel like
dinosaur things for the pool. You know, those things that you buy like in August where all the kids have walked past because nobody wanted to buy them. Those inflatable things that you pump up and you lay in the pool in the sun and you drink your little canned cocktail.
I like that with the cup holders in it.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I think people floating down the river on those.
Oh, my God. It's so stupid.
It's really a bad idea, but.
Oh, yeah. Those are remember the people you go to Walmart in the mountains and they're like, where can I get a raft? And you're like, oh, it's over there.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's fine. Yeah, you can totally take that down the river. You'll be fine. Yeah.
It's like a unicorn inflatable tube.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Go for it. Yeah, just drink a couple of beers. You'll be fine.
Nuts up, butts up.
Oh, my God. All right, we're landing the inflatable unicorn.
Dinosaur.
Totally.
Butterfly kitten. All right. Have a good one. Happy New Year.
Next week.
Until next week.
Hey, thanks for listening to another great episode. Be sure and like, share, or follow this podcast by leaving a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen. If you have an experience you'd like to share, be sure and reach out to verbalecho@gmail.com. If you know someone who'd like to tell their story, please send them our way. I want to talk to them. No guardrails. Have a great week, friends.